What's going on, guys? This is Jordan Miller. I'm the owner and founder of Breathe Heavy. Welcome to my 4th ever live stream. I can't thank you guys enough for all the engagement and love you guys have shown me. It's been really awesome to see these live streams kind of take off and gain some momentum fairly quickly. So greatly appreciated. Anything you can do, like, subscribe, drop me a comment. I love me a comment. Anything you can do engagement-wise would be greatly appreciated. Anything you do, the YouTube algorithm will recognize that there's engagement and then show this to more people, which will gain even more momentum, inspire me to do even more live shows. Currently, I've been doing 2 a week, but I'd love to make this maybe like a daily thing in the future if y'all are down. So show me that love, drop me a comment. I'm responding to every comment that's left. If you're watching this during, I'll bring up some of those comments in the live stream. And if you're watching this after the fact, I'll be responding in the comments below. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Much love, and let's dive in. So we got a lot to cover today. There's a couple of Britney items that I want to touch on first, which is one, her new butt picture. I know not that big a deal, but in the world of Britney, there's actually some things to kind of unpack when it comes to these kinds of photos, these risque photos she's been sharing. Next up is Britney's assistant. Her name is Vicky. She has a message for fans that I'd like to read. I think it's pretty insightful, and I want to share that with you. We also have something that's a little bit creepy and has totally rubbed me the wrong way, and that's Britney's ex, whatever he was, Jason Alexander, the guy that she married for 55 hours. I don't want to, be shady, but he just is kind of doing some things that I think are strange, namely, most recently, showing up to Lynn Spears' home, it's called Serenity, and doing some type of prayer. And anyway, we'll get into that in a second. Next up, switching gears, is Christina Aguilera news. She's apparently releasing her Spanish language album this month. There's still a little bit of speculation about that, but we'll unpack that as well. There's a rumor that Mariah Carey and Janet Jackson have a collab together. So that would be epic if that's true. I'll explain the details in a little bit. The Pussycat Dolls reunion tour was canceled, and they all found out about it at the same time. So we'll kind of talk about that. Demi Lovato got a crazy huge spider tattoo on her head. So curious to hear what you guys think about that. The Weeknd dropped his new album, Dawn FM. I'm in love with it. I've been playing it nonstop ever since it came out on Friday. So I kind of wanted to talk about that. Billie Eilish won a Golden Globe. And last but not least, Drake posts a shirtless thirst trap. So you know how we do it around here. We love a thirst trap. But before I dive into the video and get into all these news items, let's play that intro. Alrighty, so the first things first, what I'm going to do is, like the other live streams, I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to be sharing pages off of Exhale. If you don't know what Exhale is, it's the forum component to Breathe Heavy. It's a community of more than 85,000 people. It was founded in 2006. It's been around for a really long time. And side note, the software that Exhale uses is powered by a company called Envision Community, and I do marketing sales for Envision Community. So just a little fun fact for you there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to talk about Britney's new risque booty pic. And here we go. This is Exhale right here. Let me refresh the page so we can get this picture up. And seemingly the photo itself isn't, it's fairly scandalous, but I think what's just so interesting about it is, I'm gonna keep it here for the YouTube algorithm, because I know she intends. But it's a photo of Britney's butt, and this preceding photo, this was posted after a photo where she really didn't leave very much to the imagination. I talked about that in the previous live stream, so after this live stream, go check out that live stream. And a lot of the comments, again, there's 10 pages of comments here in Exhale. A lot of the comments are very split. Half of them, I think, are like, yes, queen, you go, girl. The other half are like, why is she doing this? Like, that's not a good look, and all that. My own 2 cents, which I'm curious to hear what you think, so just leave your 2 cents also in the comments. Do it right now. That'd be greatly appreciated. My own take is that I think that this is a way of her kind of reclaiming her own image and her own body. I think both of those were very controlled over the last 13, almost 14 years while she was in this conservatorship. And so to me, it appears that there is a little bit of like a rebellious undertone to it, but I also think she just wants to like show off her body. I mean, that's something she's done literally since day one. So I'm not trying to read too much into it and be like, what is the, not do like a thought essay on Britney's like thirst trap. But I do, obviously I've covered her for many years, and it's like, I tend to think like, well, why would she post this and why? And not to go too far into it and make it something bigger than it is. I just find it interesting that these, the photos, relatively speaking, are pretty risque. So I'm curious to know what you think. Do you think she's taking it too far, or do you think this is like super cool? Speak your mind. And if you do so now in the live stream, I'll bring some of these comments up in the very end. So moving right along, I want to touch on Britney's assistant. Her name's Vicky, and she, interestingly, is in the band Cobra Starship. So you may want to fire up Spotify or Apple Music after this live stream, after you watch my other live streams, and check out some Cobra Starship tracks. I've been doing that recently because it's just kind of nostalgic and fun. And anyway, long story short, she is Britney's assistant right now. And she has a message for fans, and I'm going to share that with you right now and then read you this message. I think it was pretty insightful, and so I found that it had a lot of value to it. All right, here it goes. So she said, I so appreciate the fandom. I so appreciate the love, but I want to explain that all your DMs requesting sending along videos, notes, gifts, or advice are ignored because that's not my role here for the lovely woman I work for. She goes on to say, also, to those of you that DM me saying she should do this or that, look this way or that, would you like someone dictating how you should and shouldn't be? No. So sorry, but STFU, and then signed off with a haha. Let this woman be who she wants to be. Okay, love y'all. Bye. And a lot of the comments, for the most part, in Exhale were very much like in support of this. They were, everyone seems to be like, yes, queen. And it's actually pretty refreshing to have, one of Britney's assistants be so forthcoming and cool about things, and just like not being silenced under this cone of censorship, like how I think a lot of people on Britney's former team were, or contributed to the whole mess of everything. Just on a personal note, I always had like this very like insecure feeling when it came to Britney's team, because here I was, especially like I'm talking really like years ago, when a lot more of my identity I think was wrapped up in Britney's career persona as a pop star and breathe heavy and everything, and it still is in many ways currently. I've tried to do my best to grow and kind of not be so immersed in all of it and be a little more objective. But personally speaking, it's nice to be able to like see people on Britney's team, which is very small at the moment, and root for her like that. And not saying that every single person on Britney's former team, didn't root for her, all that. But, obviously, as I'm sure you follow Britney saga, it's just been very up and down. And people that have worked with her are even being looked at as, in criminal investigations right now. So, and side note, Vicky follows me personally as well as Breathe Heavy on Instagram, which I appreciate, because I always felt like I was some like either joke or some creep to her, Britney's former team. Like, for example, I could be making this up, but I'm like 99% sure that a bodyguard was put behind me at the circus tour. And it was like the guy was literally behind me like security. I was on the floor. And I just felt so insecure. It made me feel so sad. I couldn't even enjoy the show. I felt like I was some freak. And this was, around the time of like Britney's father threatening to sue me and the conservatorship, me being very like outspoken against it. And so I don't know if they thought I was going to like on stage or to do something crazy. At one point years later, Britney's security, Black Box, one of the guys from Black Box, Dan told me like, when I was on stage with Britney for Freak Show, at Piece of Me, he was like, don't do anything on stage that's going to make headlines. We know you're in this blog. And that kind of like vibe I always felt like was present. Like they always thought I was some weirdo, which hurt my feelings. So anyway, that's with that. Moving along, I got a little ticker here too, by the way. Leave a comment in case it wasn't clear. But moving along, I want to talk about this. This just irks me. I don't like the vibe of this. Jason Alexander is Britney's, I don't know, former fling. He's not an ex-husband. The marriage was annulled. But But he legit, what you're looking at are the gates of Lynn Spears' home, Serenity, in Louisiana. You know, Britney's home state. And there's, by the way, this image and some of these videos, they actually were, I guess they weren't deleted. He privatized his account today. And so some sent me the video of him driving with some girl outside the gates, and they do like a little prayer.
Peace. God, demons in Jesus' name.
Peace of Christ over this
property
in Jesus' name. And I plead the blood of Jesus over this property.
So basically what you're hearing, I'm not sure if you can actually hear it in this live stream, but they're saying a prayer. Jason Alexander says, "Bye, demons, in Jesus' name." It's worth mentioning that this year, we're only not that far into into the year, he was arrested for, I believe, stalking. So, I'm sorry, December 30th, he was charged with violation of an order of protection and aggravated stalking. And this is his mugshot. So I hope I'm not getting myself in the hot water. Just, here's another little clip.
Britney, why'd you block me? You blocked me on my birthday because I was recording phone calls. Why wouldn't I? You're going to tell everybody you wasn't calling me. Well, you were. I got it all. I got it all. I got it all. I got it all.
Okay. So he's claiming Britney blocked him and that he recorded her phone calls. So anyway, it's just weird and it just irks me. So I'm curious to know what you think. Do you think that this is like a real dangerous situation, or do you think he's just not doing well? He's not in a good place, and so we're just kind of witnessing that unfold. I saw some comments being like, "Don't give this guy any attention," you know. But I do think that brushing things under the rug is partly one reason why Britney got into the situation that she got in, or she didn't get in, is that there wasn't enough attention on certain things until the Free Britney movement gained like a lot of momentum. So I think things like this, where it's like, I don't think that this should be swept under the rug. This, to me, like, my spidey senses are going off. Like, it's not good. So I think it's actually important that we kind of like shine a little light on things, and he needs to stop. So, all right, those are the Britney items. I would really just appreciate it if you didn't drop off. There's a couple other things that I'd like to mention, so stick around. I'm curious to hear what you think about these other things. So next up is Christina Aguilera's new album, the Spanish language album. It's supposed to drop this month, according to a new news report. And I actually haven't seen Christina herself confirm this, so I was actually a little surprised that this report just straight up said that. It came from Ocean Drive, and there is some credibility to it because I actually interviewed her. And so here's a quote from this video. She said, "Something crazy happened. The chemistry and synergies between us, the storytelling and sharing among such beautiful souls, the Miami flavor, it was indescribable, da 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 da. We realized, holy shit, oh, holy beep, we have an album." And Ocean Drive goes on to say, "Thus, the album was born, which Aguilera will release later this month." So it's unclear if that's just like, you know, not true, if that's actually happening. It's a surprise release. Maybe I'm out of the loop and she did announce it and I've just been carried away with other things and missed it. But I'm personally looking forward to it. I liked her lead single, Somos Nada, and I'm curious to see what she comes up with next. I think that she's serving looks, and I know that she's a little bit of a interesting character right now, all things considered, with like her in the Britney world and how Britney and her, well, Britney kind of like lashed out. And then Christina didn't reply, and it was just like a mess. So hopefully fighters don't attack me, and hopefully fans don't attack me. It's all good. I think we should still like uplift these pop stars. I'm not really sure what I'm going on about, but I just don't want to get any hate for sharing some Christina news. Moving on to other pop queens that I love. Mariah Carey and Janet Jackson might be collaborating, apparently. Over the years, I've done tons and tons and tons of stories about rumored collaborations. So me personally, I won't hold my breath. So take this with a grain of salt, but this is the report. Essentially, a song that was titled, let me pull this up, "If I Can Count the Stars." That was apparently registered on a music publishing website called ASCAP, I think ASCAP. And it lists Mariah as a co-writer along with another guy named Henry Humes, excuse me, and also Janet Jackson. It's a Janet Demi Jackson as a songwriter. So that's very interesting. There were some theories that maybe Mariah is sampling a Janet Jackson song in the future, and they're just, I don't know, registering it to secure the title. It's unclear, essentially. So not sure what to make of it, other than I think this would be obviously iconic, and stream-wise would probably perform exceptionally well. But it's just an interesting collision of these two megastars. So fingers crossed that this is true. Let me know what you think. Would you be down for a Mariah and Janet collaboration? Would you prefer Mariah / Janet collaborate with somebody else? It is interesting timing that Janet's releasing this documentary. I mean, Mariah's always in the press, so who knows? I'm super down for it. Could be really interesting to see. Next up, we have the Pussycat Dolls drama. Per usual, they're always entangled in some type of drama. It may come to an, I shouldn't laugh. It may come to an end though now, because there's apparently no tour. So as we know, pre-pandemic, the Pussycat Dolls reunited. They released a bop. The music video was hot. The performances they gave, or performance, I think, maybe there was a couple, were also super hot. The song was titled React. And there were some high hopes for more music, possibly an album. Obviously, a tour was in the works. Well, interestingly, the tour is canceled. And what I find so interesting about it is that Robin Antin, the founder of the Pussycat Dolls, along with the other dolls, found out the tour was canceled at the same time everybody else did. So essentially, in a nutshell, what went down is Nicole Scherzinger, she put out a statement essentially refuting, I'm going to refresh this page. She put out a statement essentially refuting some claim from Ticketmaster, and said that unfortunately the tour has to be canceled. And upon her saying that, that was news to, here it is, here's the statement. So she says, with ever evolving circumstances surrounding the pandemic, I understand the decision that the tour dates had to be canceled. Well, that inspired reactions from Robin Antin and some of the other dolls who were, that was news to them. So some of the dolls put out a coordinated statement essentially saying that was the first they heard about it, that no official news had been released yet. And Robin Antin kind of made it seem like they were going to try in some way to kind of carry on and move forward. And she, here she's putting the word band in capital letters. We're a band. We do this together. But I hate to say it, without Nicole Scherzinger, like, I know that all the other dolls are very talented in their own right, but it is what it is. Like, Nicole Scherzinger is, as much as they want to deny it, she was the lead singer. She was like a critical part of the Pussycat Dolls. So I just don't see how this could possibly carry on forward. But you never know. You never know. But I wouldn't hold your breath. It appears to me that the tour is going to be donezo for sure. All right, we're rounding this out. We got a couple of news items left. I know you're dying to see Demi Lovato's giant spider tattoo on her head. This was pretty shocking, I think, to a lot of people. There's been kind of some speculation that maybe there were some rumors that she was actually in a rehab facility as of very recent. So it was kind of like somewhat not surprising, but also surprising that maybe she got this kind of tattoo. I mean, it doesn't imply that there's any sort of imbalance or that she's in a dark place. She getting a tattoo doesn't equal that. I just think the timing of all of it together does spark a little cause for concern. But at the same time, it's their body, and I think that they're allowed to express themselves however they choose to do so. Would I personally get a tattoo of a spider on my head? No, but it's not me. And who knows, maybe the spider has some symbolic representation for them. Apologies if I didn't say them or they earlier. But yeah, I'm curious to hear what you think. Would you ever get a tattoo like this, or do you like what they got? Drop me a line in the comments. If you're watching this, drop a spider emoji in the comments. Let me know you're listening. That should be interesting to see. All right, I'm just gonna stand for a quick second about the Weeknd's new album, Dawn FM. And there's also something interesting that I thought he said when it comes to album sales. And first of all, I mean, I'm like a Weeknd stan. Like, I love everything that he puts out. But the album in particular, I really like. I just really like how cohesive it is. And I feel like it was an expensive album to make, if that makes sense. Like, a lot of production, a lot of great songwriting, a lot of like just the best of the best went into making this. And that's kind of like my take. It's only been a couple days. So someone tweeted, no physical copies, vinyl, CDs, cassettes for the Weeknd's Dawn FM will be available in store during release week. Furthermore, no physical copies will be shipped the first week. This will obviously impact first week figures. Now, interestingly, he somehow saw that and decided to respond to it, although the tweet's deleted. You know, the internet's forever. He says, this doesn't matter to me. What matters is getting to experience the album together with the fans during these times. And I do find it a little funny because it's like, come on, you know the Weeknd's like gunning for a #1. It's like, and as he should, you know, an artist of caliber like should absolutely be pushing themselves and setting the bar every single time and chasing that. But with that said, I also do respect that. Yeah, in theory, he could have waited till all the physical merchandise was ready, much how like Taylor Swift did when she announced Red months in advance. It was because it takes a long time to make the physical, you know, vinyl record and CDs and all that. And he's like, look, I just want the fans to have the music. So I respect that a lot. It's a sign of a really legendary artist to just do it for the music. I suspect there will be a physical merch drop in the future, which could very well breathe new life into the album and skyrocket it back. I would presume this is going to go #1. So I would imagine in the future when he drops the physical merch, that will also, you know, launch that album into #1. I'm taking this plane home. These last two items are a little quick. It's simply just Billie Eilish won a Golden Globe. And, you know, I know I mentioned on the last live stream that I kind of like, I'm a big fan of hers. I like her music, but namely, I just respect that she is like making waves at such an early age. She has such dominance and influence in the music industry. And so for her to get this kind of recognition, I think is awesome. At the same time, I will be consistent and say that I personally think, first of all, I guess the Golden Globes were yesterday, which, you know, when I woke up today and saw this news, I was like, oh. I mean, it's not necessarily music news, which is what I cover, but I just didn't even know. And I didn't know because I personally feel like award shows are a little like outdated, and I dread covering them basically. So when the Grammys announced that they're postponing, it was like, cool. So I just found that to be cool. Last but not least, I know y'all been waiting for this. A Drake shirtless thirst trap. You know, I love that I went to ULV here in Vegas to get my degree in journalism and media studies, and here I am sharing thirst traps as part of my career. And you know what? I don't regret it. So take a little peek at his thirst trap. He hid it in this Instagram post as the third photo, and he captioned it, "There's a point in the fake it till you make it theory where you actually got to make it." And I agree. That's what I'm going to do now. Live streams. I'm trying to fake it till I make it. A big part of me is like, I don't know what I'm doing. But here we are, 4 streams in. I think this one was actually the best one I've done yet, the most smooth. So if you're still watching, I got a lot of love for you. I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to check out a few of the comments that were left during the live stream. I see some people leaving spider emojis. That is awesome. I greatly appreciate that. Let's show some love. Love you. And you. Someone wrote, love Brit ass. Yeah, she does have a very, that's one thing, like, I don't want to judge his body. She's always had like an amazing physique, obviously. But it's like an athletic physique. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, her body's always been very, like, she was a gymnast growing up, and, you know, she's an amazing dancer. So she's always kind of had that muscle memory. So it's no surprise to me that she's able to still kind of flaunt her butt. People are telling me that this is glitchy. So hopefully, I have no idea. Honestly, this is news to me. I hope that this, you know, my internet's been a little weird, so I'm hoping that this live stream wasn't a total waste. Hopefully it got better. But someone said Vicky has great taste. Britney's assistant for following me. I agree. And someone said, do you... Oh, I hope so. If he's watching, that's gonna be so embarrassing. But yeah, hopefully one day. Last but not least, do you think Little Mix will cancel their tour? I don't know. I hope not. I hope they're able to carry forward, but I know that they've been having a tough time, so I would imagine that they may. So anyway, guys, with that said, thank you so much for watching. Anything you can do, again, just like, subscribe, drop a comment, whether you're watching this live or after the fact. Any engagement is so greatly appreciated. Love you. Look forward to doing another one this week. If you guys are down for me to do more of these, more than 2 a week, let me know. I'll do it based off of the engagement and the feedback. So the more love you show me, I'm reflect it right back. All right. Thank you so much. Love ya. And I'll see you in the next live stream. Bye. Oh, brother. Here we go again. All right. Bye.